All right. Well, hey, good afternoon. Welcome, Chris Robinson here. I want to thank you so much for joining me as we continue on talking about the 15 invaluable laws of growth. One of my absolute favorite books. We've been doing this since the beginning of the year here, and been doing a chapter per week, sharing a little bit with you. And this particular week, we're actually in what chapter is that? Chapter 13, as we're going to be talking about the law of modeling. So we're going to be talking about that today. If you do not have this book, you want to pick this book up. You can pick that up at maxwellleadership.com/15 laws. And you can get a copy of this in your hands. It doesn't matter what time of year that you get this book in here. This is one of the 5 books that I read each and every single year to make sure that I'm on track for growth. This is what I believe one of the best personal growth roadmaps that you can actually follow. So we'll dive in, talk a little bit more about that today. And yes, it matches the jacket today. It matches the suit today. Didn't think about that till I got in. Andrew says, hey, the book matches your suit right there. I said, hey, that works. That works for me. So looking good. Well, hey, let's dive into it today. I know that we got a lot of people on there. I see Rennie's on there today. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Lisa, great to see you as well too. John, great to have you on. So if you're in the chat, be sure let us know where you're watching from so that we can find out where people are tuned in from. Would love to see you on there. So let me see you in the chat right there. There we go. Dave Gambro. Great to see you on there as well too. Been a little while, and good to see you there. So many of you on there. Man, awesome to see you. All right, well, hey, let's dive into it today. We're going to be talking about the law of modeling. We're going to be talking about the law of modeling. Let me do a quick switch over here real quick, and then the law of modeling says this: it's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. It's hard to improve when you have no one else but yourself to follow. Now, this chapter is really talking about mentorship and the value of mentorship, but more importantly, what to look for in a good mentor. When I look at where I'm sitting at today, right here in John Maxwell's seat, where he records every single week, he's in here doing this thing, and I've had the privilege of traveling the world with John Maxwell and learning from John and him actually becoming a personal mentor. But I look at all the other mentors in every area of my life. I don't just have one, I have multiple. And as I've taught you many times, that you need 3 things in order to grow in any area in life. The first thing that you need is knowledge. You need some type of information. You can get information through books. You can get information through videos. You can get information through audio. The second thing that you need is a coach or a mentor, someone that's further ahead of you down the road that can show you the way. Somebody's already done and achieved what it is that you want to achieve. Someone's just a little bit further ahead of you that can save you some time and energy and money if you have a mentor in your life. And the third thing that you need is you actually have to take action, or you have to have practice. So you can learn and read as much as you want and just read and read and read and read and watch video after video after video. But if you don't do anything, it's worthless. And so what a great mentor does, a great mentor will help you get into action. And the greatest reward that you can give a mentor is taking action. And so you want mentors in your life, but everything that I have in my life today is a result of having mentors in my life. I believe it's the biggest thing that has saved me time, energy, and money is having mentors in my life. Now, there's 2 ways to get a mentor in your life, and John doesn't talk about it in the book. This is my experience here of how to get mentors in your life. There's 2 ways. The first way is seek to serve. The second way is pay to play. The first way is seek to serve. The second way is pay to play. Now, I think about when I wanted to get into the speaking industry here, and I wanted to be in. I was seeing speakers on stages. I was seeing speakers on TV. I was seeing speakers in videos. I was reading about speakers. But I knew that I needed to get proximity to a speaker in my life. So what I did was one day I devised a great plan. What I was going to do is I was going to go to Google and I was going to type in motivational speaker, leadership speaker, and find every speaker inside the St. Louis area. That's where I lived at that time. And so I did that, in fact, and I got a list of speakers, and then I began to pick up the phone and I began to call each and every single speaker and say, hi, my name is Chris Robinson. I am wanting to find out more about professional speaking, and if there's any way I can add value to you or serve you at any of your events, please give me a call back. Now, I called every single speaker in the St. Louis area. I had told my wife about this plan, and at the end of that day, I go upstairs, and my wife says, well, how'd the calling go? I said, well, not that well. She goes, well, how many speakers did you speak to? I said, 0. Now, I was a little discouraged that day because I thought that, somebody was just going to pick up the phone and say, hey, come on in, and I'd love to show you the ways of the world. And as a side note, you realize that I was in pursuit of mentorship right there. I was in pursuit of it because there was a period of time in my life where I just thought that this wise mentor would just show up and say, come on, Chris, I like you. I want to show you how to make income. I want to show you how to live life well. I want to show you how to have a great marriage. I want to show you how to I just thought that this mentor was going to show up. But what we have to understand about mentorship is that we have to be in pursuit of mentors. We have to seek mentorship out. And so I was seeking mentorship out that day, and I didn't get a call back. Well, a couple days later, I get a phone call, and there was a lady that says, hey, Chris, thank you so much for the call. That was very nice. I appreciate you making that phone call, and that was so kind of you. I don't have anything you can do for me right now, but if something should come up, I'll give you a call back. Now, I ran back upstairs as excited as I could possibly be, and I said, hey, I talked to a professional speaker. And my wife said, did she have anything for you to do? I said, nope, she didn't. My wife just kind of went, okay, all right. Well, that quite didn't work out. Well, a couple of days later, my phone rings again. And now it's the speaker. They've called me back and they said, Chris, she said, I have an event in downtown St. Louis, which was about 45 minutes away from my home, and my cameraman has canceled. Would you like to come and be my cameraman for the day? I need a cameraman. I said, indeed, I'd love to be your cameraman. Now, I was so excited to go down there and be her cameraman. And look, I can tell you, I had no idea what I was going to be doing with a camera. I had no idea what I was going to be doing at all, but I was seeking to serve, and I was looking to get in the room in any way possible. I did that through serving. That day I showed up and I grabbed her bags and I grabbed the camera, and I didn't go down there telling her how great of a speaker I was going to be and what I was going to do. No, I was mouth closed, ready to serve, and I was serving her. That was the motive. Now, what happened inside that day is I began to get everything set up. I began to jerk the camera around from left to right and giving her the absolute worst video footage that she could possibly have. But hey, she had some footage. And at lunchtime, we sit down and she says, well, Chris, do you have any questions that I could answer for you about speaking? I said, of course I do. Well, what happened was I had a list of 25 questions that I had written out. And she goes, oh, my goodness, you got all those questions. I said, yes. She goes, well, we got about an hour. I'll get through as many as I possibly can. But we went through those questions, and what you have to understand about this was that I was prepared for the opportunity, but I didn't push for the opportunity. I was prepared for the opportunity, but I didn't push for the opportunity. And so you can be around some of the greatest people in the world, but if you don't have questions to ask to be able to glean from their learning, then it could be a waste of time. And also, the quality of the questions that you ask determine the quality of the answers that you get. And questions, the quality of them can qualify you or disqualify you for certain relationships. I said a whole lot in that in just a second there. You might want to go back and watch that. Okay? But what happened was I asked these questions, and our time was up. I wanted to respect the mentor's time, so I closed up my notepad. I went back to serving her throughout that afternoon. And she said, Chris, thank you so much for serving me so well. Would you like to come back and do it tomorrow? I said, absolutely. The same thing went into place. I came in, I grabbed her bags, I grabbed her coffee, got the camera set up, I jerked it left to right, we got to lunch, I asked questions. At the end of lunch, she says, Chris, I don't know why I want to do this, but I'd like to give you the opportunity to speak today. She says, would you select the slide that I spoke about yesterday, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes on stage in front of this crowd. She says, are you up for the challenge? And I said, indeed, I'm up for the challenge. And I went out there and I spoke for the first time on a stage for 5 minutes. Now, the grin on her face was from ear to ear on how I delivered on that stage. And that woman became my first mentor inside this business and still a great dear friend today. But how I entered into that relationship was seeking to serve. Now, the second way to get a mentor in your life is to pay to play. Pay to play. That means that you're going to take some of your hard-earned money and you are going to invest it in order to get proximity to that relationship. For me, it was that one that I invested in that had a catalyst in my life was the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team, which now I have the privilege of leading that specific team. I wanted proximity to John Maxwell and the faculty teaching team that was teaching people how to speak, coach, and train for a living. I paid a fee to get in the room, invested in myself, and that got me proximity to people. Now, if you think about this, I was just with John Maxwell yesterday. We were laughing, having a great time. I was just with Mark Cole the day before that, laughing, having a great time. They're mentors in my life because I took the chance to invest in myself to get proximity, to be in the room with people that I want to be around, people that were further ahead of where I was at. Now, what did Jim Rome tell us many years ago? We're going to be the exact same person we are today, 5 years from now, except for the books that we read and the people that we meet. We have to be highly intentional about the mentors in our life, the people that we meet, the books that we read. So what do you look for in a mentor? John gives us kind of a good guideline of what to look for in a mentor, because who you follow is very important. Who you follow is very important. And so we want to take a look at some of the characteristics of what a good mentor is and how a good mentor can serve you. Look, I can tell you that my life is forever different because, again, of the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. Hey, if you are interested in getting inside an environment with people that are like-minded, that are focused on leadership development, adding value to people, multiplying value to others, and you say, hey, I want to develop some skills as a leader, I want to develop my communication skills, I could potentially see myself speaking, be sure to get with one of our program advisors by going to leadwithjohn.com. Go to leadwithjohn.com, put your information in there, have one of our program advisors reach out to you, let them tell you about our community, let them tell you about our resources, let them tell you about how we can serve you in your goals, your dreams, your vision. Because I know that's an environment where there's good mentors and there's great people inside that community that can help serve you. But who should you follow? John gives us a roadmap here. He says that a good mentor is a worthy example. They display excellence and possess skill sets from which we can learn. So you want there to be a match between their personal and professional life. You want there not to be a great professionally, but then a wreck personally, or a wreck personally, but great professionally. You want there to be a match in there. So a good mentor has a good balance between their personal life and their professional life. I've seen it way too many times as I'm around lots of authors, speakers, coaches, some big names that you may have seen out there. And, I can go and I love their books, and then I meet them and I go, oh my goodness, I love their books, right? Because there's a gap. And so one of the things that I do love about John Maxwell, as I've said before, is that John is one of those people where I've seen his personal life match his book life, his personal life match his stage life, and they're very, very close. Now, I'm not saying that John Maxwell is perfect, but what I am saying is that in some cases around some of the biggest names in the world, there's a gap between who they are and what they represent and who they actually are. And so we want to make sure that if we have the purview, that we have a mentor that has a match between their personal and professional life. He says that a good mentor is available. A good mentor is available for time. One of the things that you need to have with a mentor is proximity. Now, again, mentorship can begin and start at a distance. So you can start mentorship at a distance by books. John mentored me for years. And in fact, John mentored me personally on VHS for many years in the basement of a church. He was my mentor from a distance. But a mentor, when you can get proximity and be able to ask questions to learn from their wisdom, is going to help you and aid you a lot more than anything. And so you want to find a way to get proximity. You see, a good mentor, John tells us, has proven experience. Not just a philosopher, but a practitioner of what it is that they're talking about. And that's one of the things I love about the faculty of the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team, is that every single person that hops on a phone call for us, that hops on a Zoom, that hops on a video, hops on a Facebook Live, they're practitioners, not philosophers. And so they're actually out doing the things. And so that's one of the traits that I always look for. Does this person have fruit in the area that I want to grow? So if I want to go learn about finances, I want to learn finances from someone that has money. If I want to learn about a good relationship, I want to go learn from someone that has a good relationship. And so you want to make sure that a person has results and experience in their life. You see, a good mentor also possesses wisdom. They possess wisdom. And I love this story that you may have heard before, but I love this. And I want to read this one to you. It says, there's a well-known story of an expert who called a company to look at their manufacturing system. It had broken and everything was at a standstill. When the expert arrived, he carried nothing but a little black bag. Silently, he walked around the equipment for a few minutes and then stopped. As he focused on one specific area of the equipment, he pulled out a small hammer out of his bag and tapped it gently. Suddenly, everything in the manufacturing began to run again, and he left quietly. The next day, he sent the bill to the maid to the manager, and that made the manager go crazy. It was for $1,000. So quickly, the manager emailed the expert and wrote, I will not pay this outrageous bill without being itemized and explained. Soon you'll receive an invoice with the following words. For the tapping on the equipment with a hammer, $1. For knowing where to tap, $999. That was the itemized bill, right? That is the value of wisdom. Mentors with wisdom show us where to tap. You see, a good mentor is a coach. And he has an acronym for coach inside the book. The C stands for they care for the people that they coach. The first question or three questions that followers always ask is three questions. All right. The three questions are this. Can I trust you? Do you care for me? Can you help me? All right. A good mentor is going to care for you. All right. They're going to trust you. They're going to have the ability to help you. And so the first C in coach stands for care. The O says observe their attitudes, behaviors, and performance. With a coach, they're going to be able to observe your attitudes, your behaviors, and your performance. The A is that they're going to align their strengths. They're going to align their strengths. You see, as we talked about early in the earlier chapters of making sure that we're staying inside of our strength zones and out of our comfort zones, but being in our strength zone, a coach will help you align your strengths. A coach will communicate, and give feedback. One of the best things that I've had in my life with the Maxwell Leadership Certified team is access to Roddy Galbraith, who, if you go down and scroll and watch his Facebook Lives on communication, is one of the absolute best speaking coaches on the planet. But I've been fortunate to have proximity to him for 14 years of him not only watching video of me, but giving feedback to me, helping me enhance that. He's a great coach. And then the H is that it's help them improve their lives and performance. You see, a coach is going to care about you holistically. A mentor is going to care about you holistically, not just in the thing that you came to them for, but in all areas of your life. You see, as I look back, just like John, the greatest asset of my growth journey has been the people that have helped me along the way. Along the way, I've had many mentors help me in many areas, and along the way, as I move forward, I know that I will have many mentors in many more areas. You see, if you want to learn, if you want to grow, you need knowledge, you need experience, you need a mentor or a coach. You see, it's very difficult to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. Hey, I hope that you found that helpful here today. I look forward to being back with you next week as we talk about the law of expansion and we continue on in the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Hey, if you want to find out more information about the certified team, go to leadwithjohn.com, leadwithjohn.com. We'd love to have one of our program advisors speak to you. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.